Hey guys, we're just going to issue a trigger warning right before our podcast episode. We're going to be discussing sexual assault and violence against women and stuff along those lines regarding the topic at hand. So just letting you know because we care. Thank you. Enjoy the show. Hey guys, it's the Graphic Ramblers podcast. We are here today. This is me, Mark, and Nellii and Matt.
I just want to take it back.
That's fine. You can just do it. Just go like that.
You didn't fucking tell me you were starting everything, though.
Yes, I did.
No, I thought this was just gonna be a segment. You were gonna add the song, and then you were gonna do the introduction.
Yeah,
that's what it seemed like to me.
It's fine. We'll just go with this. This is good. We're already rolling.
I'm sorry.
So
I thought you saying we're starting.
Yeah.
Flip the table. Podcast will only be the boys today. Fuck this.
So I'm Mark.
Guess I'm Bug.
I'm Matt.
With Science Officer Chris.
Hello again.
He's back finally after his
Yay.
hiatus.
Haven't been Science Officer Chris.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Our fact checking hasn't been accurate as of late.
we
Do you know how many horrible things I said because you weren't here?
I am aware. That's why I will always be here from now.
But alright, you got his evil settings up. Yeah, we did a panel about the podcast a week ago, and Matt and I just shot our mouths off about things. We were talking about Lando again because I love Lando, and yeah, no one was there to fact check us, but
I'm telling you, it's true what I said.
but you'll never know because you weren't there. All right, so today we're talking about Batman: The Killing Joke, written by Alan Moore, art and colors by Brian Bolland, lettering by Richard Starkings, released by DC Comics. In the story, you guys want to do the summary? Matt, you should take it because you love this book.
Okay, yeah, this is, just so you guys know, I'm pretty biased on everything with this book. It's one of my all-time favorites, but basically it opens with Batman telling the Joker in Arkham Asylum, we're going to kill each other eventually, I don't want that to happen, and discovering that the man in the cell is not the Joker, and now the hunt is on to find the Joker, but instead he finds some of the people closest to Batman and hurts them as badly as he can.
Yeah.
All in trying to prove that all it takes is one bad day to be as bad as the Joker.
One bad day.
Yeah, I love this book.
Yeah. It's a really... I mean, this is, for me, personally, this is the definitive, Joker Batman story.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people it is. I mean, we were discussing before the show recording that this has become so influential across all Batman media.
I mean, I think there are shades of, other defining moments, but that's just it. There's defining moments. This is a whole, I think. It's, just the best Batman v. Joker story.
I think it also works well because it's not in continuity, I guess, but it is at the same time.
Yeah.
I think it was written...
It was written almost just a
Yeah.
standalone story that might not affect anything.
Because I think those standalone stories, because they can fit anywhere, I think Grant Morrison said on the Fat Man on Batman podcast with Kevin Smith that this is, the last Batman Joker story.
Yeah.
And in his eyes.
Yeah, by the way, spoiler alert from here on out, guys. If you haven't read the book, get ready to have it all ruined for you.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure those of you listening, you've probably seen allusions to it in the Batman movies or the cartoons or the animated, basically anything. This book is
it's colored so much of how people interpret these two characters that it's unavoidable.
Yeah, it's right up there with Dark Knight Returns, I would say.
Oh, definitely.
With its influence across the Bat media. First off, the art is amazing. Brian Bolland.
I love Brian Bolland. I wish he'd go back to doing more interiors, but his covers are beautiful too.
Yeah.
There's this book. I know, since it's a one shot, he was kind of just given however much time he needed, and I want to say he worked on drawing it for a year and a half or something. I could be
so
wrong.
you can fact check us.
Yeah.
Do you have your phone? Or do you have something to check?
He worked for a very long time on it, and because of that, he got to be like really meticulous because there was no like, it has to be out next week and then the week after again, you know. So
Yeah.
there's like not a line out of place, and plus we should also say we're reading the like special edition of it,
Yeah,
where he went back in and tweaked stuff.
Yeah, he
it's
recolored it as the way
Yeah.
he intended it to be colored. Because if you look at the original, I mean, I don't have the original.
I think I do.
Yeah, you have like a solid first printing there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the flashbacks are colored, like in color.
Yeah,
like, and,
it's not black and white with pops of red,
Yeah.
which is so much more effective.
Yeah.
But even he says like the coloring for the time was great.
Yeah.
You can look at
No, yeah, the
ones,
coloring in
yeah.
that one is bad. Is really good. Like I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not. I like the other coloring. I wish I could have both versions.
Yeah, just to compare and contrast.
yeah.
I mean, you really need.
And it was done on different paper, I believe. It was the.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it was like the pulp paper.
Yeah.
But
Um,
what do you think now? Because you've seen at least probably more of like the older like style of the coloring and artwork than we have. What do you think? Do you have a preference or?
I would say maybe they're just unique in their own way. It doesn't change the story in any way. It just makes the art real.
I think it does.
What?
It does
You
change
think
the story because of the not necessarily like change the story, but the mood because of the
Yeah,
coloring.
I guess that's
Because
true.
I think
Yeah.
like your
Yeah.
color palette, it's very. If Brian Bolland went back to recolor it, like then there's a certain I would like to think there's a certain kind of mood he was going for when he chose the specific colors, especially in the
I guess-
flashbacks.
Yeah.
Because you know when you see the first flashback, the only colored thing is what the shrimp and like
Anything
light
with a red tint.
Yeah.
Kind of gets.
But
at least
it's very
touch
like
of color.
faded.
Yeah.
And then the closer and closer you get to the moment where
Yeah,
where the
like
guy
a
becomes
faded photograph.
Yeah.
Like
like almost sepia tone.
yeah.
And the closer you get to that moment where the Joker is born, you know, that's when the colors become more intense as each thing progresses. So it's you know this subtle choice I would say. So kind of like Watchmen, because obviously Alan Moore had as much.
Yeah,
direction in this as well.
there's a lot of Alan
Yeah.
Moore like tropes in this.
Yeah.
Everything is broken into like 9 and 6 panel grids.
Yeah. Yeah, the layouts are really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
like I said, just meticulously crafted. I just know that that's a big Alan Moore thing. He likes to take full advantage of a page in that way.
Yeah, he's very descriptive in his scripts.
I know he doesn't like this book though.
Yeah,
He's just like it's just a really he said like even when I was writing it I just knew it's like a very typical superhero supervillain story. I don't really care for it, and I'm just like how can you not love this? How can you not be like I did something really great? You know what?
Yeah,
Like,
I can see maybe his idea where maybe he didn't really try very hard when he wrote it, and so
Yeah,
he doesn't see it as esteemed as his later works where he did do a lot.
I think there's stuff he's done that's as good or better, but I would put this probably in like my top 5 Alan Moore stories.
Yeah,
easily.
I would agree. It's not. It's not as like dense as his other stuff.
Yeah,
but it's still. I mean, I like it.
Well, and I think just because I know like the story concept was more Brian Boland's at first than Alan Moore's.
Yeah, he wanted to do the Joker.
Yeah,
like that's what he wanted.
Like I know this was like he presented this pitch to Alan Moore to get him to write it. I think the story is a lot more visually driven than a lot of Alan Moore's stuff, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
he's really like just letting Bolland take more of the gloves off and do what he obviously does best.
And I think it's really cool when you see comics when they don't have dialogue, but then it tells you so much.
Yeah.
The show don't tell.
Just like that opening sequence that
oh
they
my
have.
God, I love that scene where he's just playing with the cards.
Just the rain, because
this opening 9 panels.
That's how it ends too, because like you go to the end of the book.
I just really, that's another more
it's
thing because that's something he does a lot in Watchmen. The fearful symmetry.
Yeah, the symmetry of the book. Like it's the first page and the last page. They're both a 9-panel grid. The tops are there. It's raining. It's fucking. It's great, beautiful.
Despite like the ugly subject matter, it's such a beautiful book to look at. Like,
Yes.
Like, I want, like, DC needs to put out, like, an absolute edition of this, or, like, an artist edition where they do the oversized print.
Yeah, totally.
I would buy that, like, in a heartbeat.
I just love, like, this page where you see the Joker, like, finally, like, he shows his face.
Okay,
Mhm.
I marked that page because
Yeah.
that is one of, like, my top 10 pages in a comic book ever, to
Yeah.
the point that for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years, it was my background on Tumblr was just that page.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It means so much to me. I love it.
I know, and
Like, that's it.
it's like this is like how I see the Joker when I like imagine it. Like I mean, I've seen lots of renditions of the Joker and stuff, and you know I'm not talking down like any of the
No,
any of the other renditions, but this one is specific. It's just so beautiful to look at. Like there's such like an elegance to you know.
Then he finds a real expressiveness to the Joker that I think is absent a lot of the times, and sometimes it's obviously for story effect. You want to take away those things and other things, but because he's so expressive with his Joker, it makes Joker more sympathetic, but it also makes Batman scarier and more imposing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He manages to make the Joker through his smile, even though he's not always smiling in this. He manages to show a lot of different kinds of smiles, especially through his eyes and stuff. Like you can see the folds on his skin and you know wrinkles and stuff like that. And I think that attention to details is just like it's just fucking awesome.
They pretty much just humanized him per se.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what it is. Because we think of supervillains, we're like, oh, he's just the smile. He's crazy. He's loony. You know.
Yeah.
But
some people take the Joker just as a visual.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that works too, because I think everyone has their interpretation.
There's when it's done well, there's a purpose to treating him as just the thing that goes bump in the night. Like, probably guys noticed if you listen to the podcast before now. Like, I'm a huge fan of Snyder and Capullo. I mention them every time that we're talking about what we're reading.
They are his Lando.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want that on a T-shirt. And my Lando. And just a picture of Greg Capullo and his mustache.
Yeah, be them as Han and Chewie.
Oh my god.
But yeah, like
they do that a lot. Like the Joker is treated as this unsympathetic monster who's just there to like hurt you.
Yeah.
And it's really effective for the type of story they're telling.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate the idea that because there are so many different facets to the Joker, you can do this with him, and not a lot of other people try it.
I think it also works because it's an ambiguous origin. Like it's supposed to be the origin of the Joker, but it's not really.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite lines. I think I marked it in the book. I want to make sure I say it right. We were talking about this earlier, Nellii and I. It's like one of my favorite lines in the book where he says, "Man, I should have."
If I like to,
if I have to have a past, I want it to be multiple choice. No, wait, I owe you a code.
Yeah. I play Jinx a lot with everyone. It's kind of
I marked it. Dang it. I gotta be more careful with my post-its.
I think I have it here, like already on the page. But anyway, it's become a classic line.
But even if you take that as his origin, that's so perfect.
And I think a lot of
the idea that he was like a comedian and he's just so sad.
Yeah.
Because
there's
he's just a man pushed to his breaking point.
Yeah, there's tragedy in comedy. Like, it's like I've done stand up. Like I have friends who are stand-ups. Like there's that thing that the funniest people are often the saddest, and it's very evident. And so this is kind of like.
And what if you push that person just a little bit harder?
Yeah. Like, this is basically Alan Moore like doing Pagliacci of a comic book version of Pagliacci, like the sad clown, like
which is fun because that's the joke from Watchmen.
Yeah, I know. And he wrote Watchmen, so it all comes together. But it's also there's this. The Joker isn't necessarily the narrator in this, but he does narrate a lot in the flashbacks, and he does expose a lot of things. And it's kind of like the trope of the unreliable narrator.
Even if he's not narrating it, but it's told from his viewpoint.
Yeah.
But I mean that's the way it's described, so that's why you use unreliable narrator, kind of like in Fight Club or something like that, because on the one hand you are seeing his origin, but at the same time you don't know if he's lying to you, because I like that they also incorporate the the Joker's kind of awareness that he's in a comic book, like with subtle things where he looks at
Yeah.
the reader.
Oh,
So yeah, I mean, it could be true. It might not be true because there have been like tons of Joker origins that I've seen.
Exactly.
And this is just a callback to the actual, what is it, the case of the Chemical Syndicate, where
yeah, that's the only
Yeah.
thing you know for sure. Even in current continuity, he
Yeah.
was a version of the Red Hood,
Mhm.
and he got knocked into a chemical vat, and that's all we know.
yeah,
And that's what's great about the Joker.
yeah. And I like that. I mean, this is cool, but I like that it's ambiguous because
Yeah.
a lot of times characters don't need origins when they've become so defined by what they have done.
Well, and so much of what defines Joker for me is that he has no origin.
Yeah.
Well, they play on that a lot in this for Batman, that he's just like, I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
I don't know his
Yeah.
name. I
That's
don't
the
know.
scariest thing about it.
Yeah.
And Batman's the world's greatest detective, so
Yeah.
the fact that he doesn't know, it's just like, you know.
It's killing him.
I mean, unless you're keeping up with Justice League right now, where he became a god and he found out who he was. Dun dun dun! Spoilers.
But I think it's really neat that they took that aspect, just like the opening, and then they bring it back again. How
The symmetrical.
well,
The
no,
narration.
the whole like narration about how the
Yeah.
We will
spiel
kill
he
each
gives
other.
to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that in the beginning, they opened, the first words are the joke that he says at the end. Like, you know, there were these two guys in a lunatic asylum.
Yeah.
And it's the Joker and Batman, and that's literally what's happening, but it's also very meta because that's how the book ends, and it's just so like say what you will on more, but this is like you crafted this very well.
It's
Alan Moore doesn't
phenomenal.
write bad things.
Yeah, like what he considers bad is probably better than like a lot of people's best. You know, you know.
This is better than I will ever be able to write anything. Like,
Yeah, I can aspire to this, but yeah.
And it's one of those books that even I'm pretty sure we can read this. Doesn't matter if we were to read it like every year, it wouldn't get tiresome.
No.
And the story still.
Yeah.
I would say this is probably because I read this. I checked it out from like the library because that's what I did in high school when like this edition came out, and then I bought this one a couple years later. I've probably between the library and owning it, probably read it like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Because it's one of my favorite Batman books.
I think
like,
that's a sign of good art. Where
Yeah.
you can revisit it, and because at least if hopefully you're growing as a person, that you've matured enough where you can understand, you know,
different things and
more
aspects
things
of it.
and have a deeper understanding for it. Like
like this time reading it, I was really obsessed with like the way the story is told and like all those symmetries and things that I wasn't into when I was like 18.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
yeah, and you know your eye as an artist like grows. Like more so you notice like these little things like before like that my favorite page with the Joker at first smiling, like it you know, I know that page, but like this, I think when I read it for this episode, like there was just something about it that I noticed more, like the detail and like the light in his eyes and stuff, and the folds on his jacket.
He is a kid at a carnival.
Yeah, like
it's so perfectly like fully expressed.
Yeah.
And the way Bolland leads your eye through it, he ties you to the carnival at all times. Like, those are the only panels that the Joker is touching outside of the one he's in when he's smiling, is things to do with the carnival, and it's so good.
Yeah, it is so good. And Batman doesn't really feature much in this. Like,
No.
I mean, he's there, but it's not his story, I would say. I mean, it's a Batman and Joker story, but it's more about the Joker than anything. And I would say it's more about what is it, Jim Gordon? More so because
I think it's giving Jim Gordon and the Joker characters, because this was one of the post-crisis defining books.
Yeah.
So it was right there with like
Year One,
Man of Steel, and Perez's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
In terms of like establishing what this universe is, and this in Year One were very much meant to establish like Batman is going to be our grown-up book. Yeah. And I think this actually probably does it better than Year One.
Yeah.
As much as I love Year One.
Was this pre-Vertigo series? Do you know?
I'm trying to think of when Vertigo
Science
would have
Officer
launched.
Chris?
Yeah. It probably would have
keep
been
your
right
tabs
around the time Vertigo was launching. Because if it's 88, Because when did...
Yeah, because, I mean, this is when the
Yeah.
British invasion happened. With
Yeah.
all, you know, Morrison, Gaiman, Alan Moore,
Yeah.
obviously.
Okay, I want to talk for a minute about Morrison, because reading it this time and having, like, not
Oh,
that
yeah.
long ago gone back
Maddie.
to Grant Morrison's Batman run,
Mhm.
there's a lot of stuff he pulls straight from this for his Joker.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's definitely doing the more Bolland Joker. Right down to the opening with the playing card,
Yeah.
the red and black playing cards, that's a huge thing in Morrison's Death of Batman Rest in
Mhm.
Peace.
Yeah, and the Reborn,
Is-
Batman Reborn
yeah.
as well.
Is the way that the red and black play on each other and what they mean to the characters
Mhm.
and what they can be symbolic of in, like, magics and things.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's him, like, expanding on all these ideas that Moore just kind of placed quietly in there, and
Yeah.
Morrison, in Tim Morrison style, like, very much just, like, explodes them out into, like, big, even bigger ideas and
yeah.
bright, shiny concepts.
Well, there's a lot from this book that you can actually, like...
1993, so it was before. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, no. It's fine. That you can build off of and just
Yeah.
branch out at any point in the book.
Yeah, and I think, like, a lot of, like I said, it's influence. Like, obviously, like, this came out before Batman '89.
Yeah,
Tim
and what's
Burton.
the quote on the cover that Tim Burton has?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna do my Tim Burton impression. Gotta comb my hair in my
Yeah.
face. I loved The Killing Joke. It's my favorite. It's the first comic I've ever loved.
Something like Nick Cage, Tim Burton.
Well, they kinda. Yeah, that's why he would have been great in his Superman.
Yeah, he would have. He has scissors for hands. And he has a leather super suit.
Just more into
But-
the comedic aspect.
Yeah.
Real happy the dinosaurs in this.
That's my favorite part of Batcave.
Yeah, and it still has that Silver Age, like,
Fido.
Yeah.
the giant penny and
penny.
everything. Like, this is actually the brightest Batcave I've ever seen. Like, usually it's really
Well,
dark. Like,
I think that's another really good, like, storytelling idea, is that Batman is, like, does things where he operates in the shadows and stuff, but he is the hero, and he's very much treated as such.
yeah,
And I think Moore definitely captures in the scripting the, like, almost childlike quality that a lot of people miss with Batman, which is him, like, you know, it's gonna be okay, I'm right here, don't worry. I can save him, I can save everyone.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's one aspect about Batman that I wish people kind of focused in on more.
Mhm.
yeah.
That was unintentional. Like, I like seeing Batman be compassionate, like be a compassionate
Yeah.
kind figure. And I don't think it's done enough. Like, I've seen pictures, like pinups, like, so there's that picture of that Alex Ross did where he's holding the child.
Mhm.
Oh, from
yeah.
his oversized
Yeah.
books. The
Or
trio
or
books.
you know, like that. It's kind of like that moment in All Star Superman where he stops the girl from
Yeah.
jumping.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of that in Batman
Yeah.
animated,
Yeah.
so you know that's something they focused on.
In Batman Earth 1, he
Yeah.
gives the money
he sees
to
the homeless person and he gives him all the money
Yeah.
that he has in his utility belt.
Yeah, like I like those. I like it when Batman. does
Batman
that.
should give a shit
Yeah.
all the time.
Batman gives the most shit, and I think like I was talking to I don't know, were you there? I think I was talking to John Lance, who was on our last video episode. We were discussing about.
By the way, go watch RoboCop parts 1 and 2.
Yeah, they're already out.
Plug, plug, plug.
It was hard. It was hard to edit because I was moving at the time, like juggling both. But I was talking to John Lance, and we were talking about Batman because I think we were watching RoboCop in preparation for that, and because Frank Miller had been involved with that, and he like Frank Miller now is very right wing, and
Weird.
and I think like there's this mentality, like I've heard some people say this, who they view Batman as kind of like a fascist figure. And I hate that description of Batman. It would be, it's like
that's not my Batman.
Yeah.
that's not my Batman.
Definitely.
Like I don't like if he was Batman, that he would like bat fascist or whatever. He would be killing people or something, or at least he'd be more like that's kind of like that psycho Batman that you know that kind of was all over the 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Breaking spines.
this is what this book does. We talked about how they did a really good job of making that human aspect of the Joker.
Yeah.
They do that
They do
for
that
the
for
Batman
Yeah,
as well.
Like because they open with him. He's not fighting the Joker.
Yeah.
He's
I think that's
trying
a really important
It's-
thing is that he's like, I want to save us
Yeah.
all.
It's
Yeah.
that thing in the back of his head how he's just like, I know you guys are humans also,
Yeah.
and
Well, that's why he
Yeah.
doesn't want to see him sent to prison. He wants to see him get help.
Yeah.
Like,
Because like he even says it like I could have turned out just like you like
Yeah.
and I think that
all it takes is one bad day.
yeah, all it takes is one
Like,
bad day.
but that's like the message, though.
Yeah.
Too is like, no. All it takes is one bad day, and how you react to that bad
Well,
day depends on the person you are.
he had his bad day, but
Yeah.
he dealt with it a whole different way.
Right.
Yeah.
And like the Joker said, it's more of a denial thing for you, but I don't
I
feel
don't
like
think it
it's
is.
that
But
way.
I think, but that's so great because it makes you think so much because it goes back to a thing like they don't know each other, but it's like they don't know their characters well enough because like
Mhm.
Batman is saying the truth and Joker is saying the same truth. It's just they're different truths. Like they're both different people and they don't know each other at all because like. Batman's wearing a mask, but that's his face, and then the Joker's face is disfigured, but that's who he is. Like it's so like you know what I mean? Like
They're very similar but very different all at
Yeah.
the same time.
yeah, and when Batman was started, that wasn't like a thing. It was just he's just a guy who dresses like a bat and he fights bad guys,
Exactly.
and then all these deeper psychological underpinnings and subtext like that was added later because they were like oh yeah you could see
He suffers just like any cop does doing his job.
Yeah, that's why I like some of the best Batman stories are just cop stories or detective stories, but the detective or cop's wearing a cape.
Yeah.
Like Dark Knight is that way.
Yeah.
And Dark Knight is another one that I think borrows liberally from this for the portrait of Joker.
Yeah.
Like I know people always talk about like, oh my God, Heath Ledger came out of nowhere and he's so original. And I was like, I think you could see it all in The Killing.
Yeah.
The multiple choice backgrounds.
Yeah.
The like kind of enjoying his disfigurement.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah,
Pushed
I would agree.
to the brink. Like I like that.
I think like even in Tim Burton's Batman, it's obviously the
visuals.
Yeah, the visuals are the same.
The other most iconic, probably the more iconic panel, but not my favorite, is the one where he's in the doorway.
Oh, okay, we're gonna get into before we let me just because I know we did a trigger warning at the top of the show, but we're actually going to discuss it.
Some parts of the book.
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna get into that just yet.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna talk about that one panel.
Oh, okay.
But we can branch out
it
from
leads
there.
into it.
So
we're just be ready. It's heavy stuff.
Yeah, it's heavy stuff.
But I think that that panel is almost exactly replicated in what I like to call the "Let's get crazy" scene from Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Where he knocks on Vicky Vale's door and he's standing there. He's got the hat. He's got. I think he might have a camera. He just doesn't have.
Yeah,
the
he does have
a camera.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Hawaiian shirt.
But like exactly the way it's framed, where Vicky Vale is standing, like everything is the two goons.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson's costume.
Don't mind the dog barking.
Yeah.
He's harmless.
He's just wild.
He's real sweet.
But they kind of reference the Hawaiian thing because there's the part where they're doing the love that tan or
it's visually they borrow a lot for the Joker, if not necessarily the character presented here.
Yeah.
Visually they borrow a lot.
Yeah,
for it.
and it's such a it's beautiful to look
visual.
at. Like,
Did you want to go see what's wrong with
I'm gonna
Albie?
go close some doors.
You want to go pause? You want to pause it?
You guys can keep.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll
it's
jump back
fine.
in.
Okay. So I think that rendition of the Joker is just so. I think that's even more menacing than his regular look because it's like this freakish like clown man dressed like a tourist and he's just at your door with like they make his eyes all beady like not glowing but they're reflecting the light and they do that in I still haven't shown it to you guys the Batman Return of the Joker, when you first see the Joker come back, like that he's in shadow and you can only see like red beady eyes. And they kind of did that when they did the reboot of the cartoon when they changed the art style so he had like black with beady eyes.
Yeah. It's super menacing. Something about just
that's creepy. Like if you were standing there, like not like clowns are already creepy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, they are.
That's what I was gonna say. As it is, people have clown phobias just for what they are, which Matt has.
Yeah, Matt came back. The dog is fine.
Yes, gave him a treat.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really good panel. Like it's beautiful to look at. And it was they didn't know, like, this is where we're gonna get into the discussion.
Yeah.
A few months back, there was the controversy with the Batgirl alternate cover from Raphael Albuquerque,
Which I think was good to pull because he wanted it.
Yeah. He chose to pull,
Yeah.
and I think that
he made the right choice.
Yeah.
He was like, if you're not going to be respectful of people who will criticize me, I don't think you get to have my art. If you can't, basically, if you kids can't play nice, then fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
which I
gonna
think is
be
fine.
the first one to say I really liked it.
I loved it.
thought
no,
it was
I like the
gorgeous.
cover. I'm not saying I'm not against the cover.
Yeah, no, I know.
I respect the choice that he made.
Yeah.
Respecting the people who it affected.
And I also do fully understand why some people were bothered by it, and a lot of the complaints weren't necessarily like, oh, I think a lot of complaints were misunderstood. It wasn't necessarily, oh, you can't show any violence against ladies, which I think for some reason a lot of the people on the side that were the reason it was ultimately pulled, thought that was the argument being had. The argument that I heard even larger was like, this is not a reflection of all of what is in this book.
Yeah.
This book is not about any of the themes. It's about her moving past.
Yeah, because the initial New 52 Batgirl was her learning to walk again.
Yeah.
With Gail Simone writing, which is a great fucking arc.
It's
It is.
a beautiful run.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Gail Simone fan.
Yeah,
So.
I think Adrian Siaf was the artist.
Adrian Siaf and Ed Benes.
Yeah. It was Gail Simone, Adrian Siaf, and Ed Benes. It was a great run. It was Babs learning to become a crime fighter again because she got surgery.
And learning to deal with her trauma.
Yeah.
Like, that cover actually makes sense in that run, and that's probably when they commissioned it.
Yeah.
Just to have it ready.
They did it like a few months, but it was supposed to be the Joker month, I think.
Yeah.
When it was announced at with Diamond and stuff.
It's a huge battle with her personal demons that she's dealing with.
And,
so I understand why some people were bothered by it.
And it didn't reflect the Batgirl, because that was Brendan Fletcher's Batgirl at the time.
Which is all about her having moved past it, and what do you do once you have your life back?
Yeah, because Brendan Fletcher and his team is switching the way Gail Simone had
as
it.
they should. It's a logical progression of the character.
It's a more happy, campy story now, but after...
It's, I like both. I think they're very different takes, but
they're both great.
Yeah.
This is okay. Let's take the deep dive, guys. This is probably like the one part of the story that has, as I've gotten older, aged the worst for me.
Yes,
it serves no purpose.
The Joker comes in, he shoots Babs in the stomach, and he blows out her spine, and then she can't walk, and then they sexually assault her. Yeah, he disrobes her, and then he takes pictures of her in the nude. And I think there's this misunderstanding of sexual assault. With people, they think that he didn't touch her, penetrate her. I guess it's still sexual assault. That's the whole point of it. Yeah, it's like obviously she didn't want his hands on her. Right. And he did and stuff. And I think that's assault. Yeah, it's there's no gray area. It's pretty black and white. And while I do think it is in keeping with the Joker presented to us in this story, this is definitely something he would do. The story didn't need it. Yeah.
See, I want to say something different to that, because I feel like it works, because they're trying to build up this human aspect of the Joker, and they still remind you he's a monster, even though the trauma he went through and his life or who he was previously.
I understand the point of it, but I think you shoot her he would shoot her, he would leave her on the floor to die. Well, and here he's presented as doing this to.
He doesn't care about her. He wanted to.
That's
her.
My problem. No,
that's the thing.
That's where it plays into. Are you guys familiar with the trope girlfriends in refrigerators?
Yeah, fridging.
Yes.
This could have happened to literally any character in the book that was close to Jim Gordon.
It could have been Jim Gordon's wife. It could have been someone close to Batman or someone that Vicky. Someone that
It could have been any character, and literally DC said it could have been any character. Yeah. And they gave them a list of a couple characters, and they were you know what, you guys should go with this happening to Batgirl. Her book has the lowest sales. Yeah. And we aren't shown how it affects her.
Yeah.
We aren't shown how it really affects Jim Gordon, except that he's seeing horrible photos.
The only really thing you see of it affecting her is her maybe in the hospital bed when
but
Batman comes
even
to
then,
visit.
it's more about how it's affecting Jim Gordon and Batman.
Yeah.
That's even her concern.
Yeah.
Which I get because she's such a strong, like,
character.
fucking character. Like, she would be able to, like, she would be more concerned with the people around her. I get that. But all we need is, like, even just, like, one more page of her, like, I can't believe he did this to me. Takes it out of being that trope.
Yeah, because it's kind of like you don't really see her again after after this point. Like, and
we aren't told to give a shit about her. We're just told to give a shit about Jim Gordon.
Yeah, it's more so.
It's all about how it affects the men in the book.
Yeah, it's more so to make the Joker look like a monster, and then to make Batman look more heroic, and then Barbara's just kind of like in the hospital bed, and then she became Oracle, which she did. She was great at Oracle, but it's still like. I think they even use this. If you guys ever watched the Birds of Prey TV show that had like a short run, they use that and stuff. But still, it's not like that show handled it better because it's just he just shot her and then that she became Oracle.
I think you can pretty easily remove the sexual assault aspect, and still have him just leaving her there to die, which is very cruel.
Yeah,
and you can also again just. Like a couple more panels, one more page, something.
Yeah,
you know,
I
takes it, elevates it, and it's funny because Alan Moore actually, it's a weird thing with him. He's super into. This sounds. I've got to think of a better way to phrase this. I almost said he's super into sexual assault. But that's actually something he uses in his stories a lot.
Yeah.
But he always shows how it's there to show you the effect it has on the person who has gone through it. It's like you look at like Silk Spectre and Watchmen. It's there to show you how it. He shows you how it affects her. If you look at like Marvel Man, when Kid Marvel Man gets assaulted in the shower by like the other kids.
Oh yeah.
It's there. It shows you how it affects that character. Not. And then that really made Marvel Man mad, didn't it?
Yeah, like
no one cares about the kid who got assaulted.
Yeah, I should mention
so
the
it's
girlfriend.
It's an odd mishandling by Alan Moore.
Yeah, it's the girlfriends. I should mention the girlfriends in fridges. Like where it comes from is I think it was Green Lantern.
Yeah, Green Lantern.
Yeah, the first Kyle Rayner arc.
Yeah, like he comes home and his girlfriend's been chopped up in the fridge, and you had just met her like an issue before, I believe.
I believe the writer and artist have said she's not chopped up. That's a common misconception. She's just stuffed in there.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't make it better.
I retract my statement.
I know that was like one of their things. They were like, if you're going to criticize us, like, get it right. You should know everything before you criticize us. And that's fair.
Yeah, but still, I think, like, I'm glad that we can call out these things. I remember I read the Black Cat story that Kevin Smith wrote.
Yeah.
And Black Cat was basically Marvel's Catwoman. And she was like fully formed and just this badass thief. But then like Kevin Smith, I love Kevin Smith, but that story was really bad because like
was that her established origin?
It became her origin.
Okay,
like she was basically raped and then she became the Black Cat because she never wanted a man to.
But even then, that's not playing as much into the trope to me.
No, but I mean the idea of like rape as a
plot device.
Yeah, as a plot device. It's like it's very weak. Like I don't.
Yeah,
like,
it weakens your character.
Yeah, it weakens. I think it weakens you as a writer. Too,
yeah.
If like, I mean, yeah, obviously rape is bad. But to use it in a sense where it's like, oh, this is wrong, so now the hero must fight them because they did this bad thing. You know what I mean? It's not. I mean, like, not to get too into my personal life, I worked with like social workers and they do like the counseling stuff, and it's not something that like you can just like throw out there into a story because it really like affects them. So it's
but
not.
That's why I say it's such a like weird misstep for Moore, who normally even if he's willing to show you the graphic content, he handles it a lot better.
Yeah.
So it's a weird misstep to me. Okay, two straight cis guys here talking about everything.
One of which is white. Yeah,
you're an actual woman, Nellii.
I think we should recognize our privilege. By the way.
What do you think of it within the story and as like a trope and things? And...
Okay, I will say when I first read it when I was a bit younger, I didn't make anything of it because I'm just like, it's a comic book, it's a story.
Yeah. Oh, the Joker does bad things. He's a bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. It just didn't faze me. Maybe I was a sheltered kid where I'm like, nah, this doesn't happen in real life. It's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I mean, obviously you were young. You didn't know, like, obviously
Exactly.
you don't know these
I
things.
didn't I didn't get that when
Yeah.
I was younger, and like again, like I was really, well, the Joker does bad things. Of course, he would do something like this, and that's why I still believe it's definitely something Joker would do.
Yeah, I don't doubt he would do
deny
that.
but does he need to for a story purpose?
I think though, like there's a well, actually, like
Yeah, sorry.
I feel like because we're focusing so much on the Joker when it comes to this book, just the failing of like having her, because like we said, he's the narrator. Why would he care?
That's fair, actually.
You get what I mean? Why would he care? He would only care that whatever keeps his story going on. But he doesn't care about the people he's hurting. So, like we said, he's the narrator of this book, per se. But it's super shitty. There's no other way I can put it. Like,
it's shitty and unnecessary.
Yeah,
it is.
And Alan Moore is a good writer. Like he's gotten way better since then. And I think maybe this is like one of the things he doesn't like about this book.
Exactly.
Like
I could actually see that because he's very into like female characters.
Yeah, like if you read
Promethea
is
all about her fucking stopping the assaults against her and like kicking ass.
Yeah,
like
and like. I mean, because we live in a more progressive time where we can like recognize, like, dude, like, what, can you not like do this?
What year did this come out in? 88.
Yeah.
Also, we do have to remember the time period.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean.
I know, but
the way stories were told in comics, because comics are almost always weirdly like recent in like I'd say like in the last 10 years they finally caught up to all the other forms of storytelling, but a lot of like tropes and things. Yeah.
If this was
a lot of tropes and things were holding it back as storytelling.
And a lot of times there was dudes who were writing them. Like I'm pretty sure if like Kelly Sue DeConnick or Brendan Fletcher went back in time and they wrote Batgirl, it would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Throw this to fucking Gail Simone. So like she has a lot to say about this book.
Yeah.
If you follow her on Twitter and go through her old feeds, she has a lot of like brilliant stuff to say on that.
If this was written now, I think I'd be more in an uproar about it.
Oh, definitely.
This is set in the past, and with my mindset of the way I choose to read it, because I'm a very positive person and don't like thinking about negative things.
I only think about negative.
Yeah, well,
I'm pessimistic.
You know, I'm
a comedian.
And the way I saw it when I was a kid, she's such a strong person. I'm like, she's gonna get past this kind of deal. But, you know, like you guys already mentioned it, it's that one panel away from making it
more okay.
This one got really dark.
But it is.
You have to have this discussion, especially if I mean you have to understand what you're reading about, and I think you I mean we don't really get too political on these things. But it's good you have to be informed of these things, and you know not just as a better storytelling aspect, but as being a better person. Like I'm pretty sure Batman, like if Grant Morrison's a huge like progressive and feminist and like he has he's done like Batgirl and good female characters, so I think like this is kind of like the one bad aspect of it, and I think like as beautiful as it looks and like I get what they're trying to do.
That's the one thing that could not be taken out, but be changed to work better.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm really interested to see the animated movie that's coming out.
Seeing how they play this out now for the modern age viewer.
Well, that and just like Bruce Timm and like all of them are very outspoken about their love of like Barbara Gordon. Like on the show, she's one of the best characters.
She is like all the female characters are just very well developed, characters and stuff. They're actually people. They're not just like I'm the bad girl that's kind of like a sexual deviant.
Well, just look at how just even like just in the Bat world. You got Batgirl, which is a total badass right now, which she always has been. But even like Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, all of them are not sexy sexy visuals
They're
only.
they're
sexualized.
sexy, but
Exactly.
they're not sexualized.
But now
Yeah.
they have a brain, they have a voice, they do what they,
Yeah.
you know. It's
Well,
more about girl power nowadays.
Yeah, I remember there's an issue of, I forgot what it was. I remember I saw this panel on Tumblr where Harley Quinn kind of recognizes that she was in an abusive relationship with the Joker,
Mm-hmm.
and she was moving past that because she had not been with it. But that was pre-New 52, I believe. But yeah, like the Joker's obviously an asshole. Like I mean, yeah, I like the Joker, but this is like I
it's
really
a good
like.
reminder he's a monster.
It's a good reminder that he's a monster, and like my personal preference of Joker characterization. Like I like the asexual gay Joker almost like from like the Dark Knight Returns, where he's kind of like he's more fixated on Batman than on actual like, you know, this is when stuff gets too real and stuff. Like yeah.
That's like the closest thing to a problem with Moore is like every now and then like the real world creeps in almost too much on his stories. I'm like it's upsetting.
It's like I live the real world and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not.
But that's why it's so interesting to look at like what other writers have done with his stories.
Yeah.
Like the mainstream ones.
Yeah,
like
have
this.
expanded.
Yeah,
upon
like Grant Morrison and how he's dealt with if the Joker is a monster, and this is the worst thing you can do to a person because he almost kills her, he assaults her, he tortures her family. Then like where do you go from there? And then he comes back to being because again, like I consider their Joker to be the logical extension of the Bolland Joker, the more Bolland Joker.
Yeah.
Then like he has to become this cartoon character again. Like
Yeah,
that's a really interesting
he
idea.
becomes like this
or like what Gail,
what
Gail Simone did with Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like how does this affect a person? And then like what she did with Batgirl, who in the New 52, for those who don't know, she never was Oracle. Mm-hmm. Like what she did with Batgirl, and like the idea of like if Oracle like was so strong she just moved past it. What does a 19-year-old girl do with this? And she makes her a soldier who has PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's a fascinating idea.
Yeah.
If we have to suffer through this one bad example of a bad storytelling trope to get to those stories,
because that's them
it's
fixing
almost
the problem.
Yeah. It's so interesting to watch guys like Chuck Dixon, Gail Simone, Grant Morrison fix the problem.
I think he just passed away, I believe, Chuck Dixon.
Did he?
Yeah,
oh my
he just
god.
passed away.
Let
me check that.
He was one of the early Birds of Prey artists, right?
Yeah, I think Gail Simone posted about him on her Facebook.
Well, now I'm bummed.
Yeah.
Oh man,
this is a really dark podcast.
Oh, I love Chuck. This is I'm getting emotional, guys. You can't tell me this stuff on air. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Mark.
Yeah. My bad.
The listeners are about to hear me cry.
What happened?
Yes.
I have two positive notes to lift up the mood.
All right.
Let's see. The Alex Ross image of Batman that you were referring to earlier, it was the moment you're referring to is when Batman heard 2 gunshots in an alley. He went to inspect it and he found 2 dead bodies. And the young boy who he saw there was actually a mirror image of himself when he saw, It's
not really lighting up.
But it's great.
But
because he shows compassion.
Yeah.
The child is in complete and total terror, and he immediately picks up the gun that killed his parents and he aims it at Batman. But Batman doesn't do anything to disarm him. He just holds him and comforts him.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorite
Sometimes
pages.
you just need a hug.
Yeah. Batman gets that. Let him be a kid.
And what else?
Sometimes all you need
is a hug.
Is a guy who will give you a coat.
I want to give you a hug.
Because the world's not going to end.
Oh, you were going with an actual quote.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, your guys' Batman sound like he's ate too many donuts.
Yeah,
free hugs.
That's the line from The Dark Knight Rises where he's like, don't you think people should know who you are? You've done so much. Like, sometimes a hero is a cop who gives a coat to a little kid.
In his defense, this is a real good Christian Bale.
No,
He gives a coat to a little kid so he knows the world isn't ending. And he's like, Bruce Wayne? Like,
really? You just figured it out?
I have to pick, like,
that was it? That's what put it over the top.
Like Kevin
Super
Smith
big.
when he's like, I have to play surprise. He's the only one with this much money.
You dumb. Yes, science officer Chris.
Number two was in Gail Simone's run of Batgirl. I love what she does with it because undoes the fridging aspect of this entire story.
Mhm.
Because when the
Yeah.
character is fridged, the woman is hurt or injured or dies or just violated in general, and then it's time for watch the man do all his kick-ass stuff.
I must defend the females. Like,
But let's completely ignore her. And
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's
Gail's
Well,
problem
this is
with
the
this
problem.
story.
They never
Yeah.
reference anything back to her other than showing nude pictures of her.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
Which-
why I hope, like, Bruce Timm is smart enough to do something like when she's in the hospital and she says, let's fucking get him, and that's when she starts to become Oracle, and she's like, bring me a fucking computer, we're gonna track him down.
Yeah.
That's all they need, is someone like that.
yeah,
Yes,
I was
Sorry.
like, I think.
Sorry, I keep interrupting.
It's okay, it's okay. That happens a lot, incidentally. But, okay, in Gail Simone's run of Batgirl, when Batgirl talks about this incident, the entire time when she's recovering, when she's getting back on the horse and being Batgirl, riding the Bat cycle, taking on the new enemy that's going around Gotham, she goes over and over again how devastating this was for her, how much it affected her, how deeply, psychologically.
PTSD.
And
Isn't
she
that
grows
the
stronger from it,
drive
really.
that was making her? Because aren't they saying that she has to, because of the treatment that she did, she has to go back into her head and just kind of
frequently throughout the entire
Yeah,
story.
like I remember there's
It's a great way to tell the story.
they basically portray her as a veteran, like a war veteran. And there's this part where she's in the hospital and this guy, it's not even like a villain or anything, it's just some random thug. He points a gun at her and it triggers like
the
that.
situation.
It triggers the situation. She flashes back and she like freezes because it's so traumatic and stuff. And I think that's, no one really I'm sure maybe it had been done, I would hope, but I'd never seen that done before, which I think I've seen that in life, like I've seen that in people like who get that affected by a situation, but I'd never seen it like in fiction like that.
Portrayed
Maybe I think
in a comic book.
in a comic book. I think maybe in movies. I think the only time I've ever seen it was in Wreck-It Ralph. The Jane Lynch's character, I forgot her name, but she was like really cool. But yeah, like I think that it's good. This story, like no story is perfect, but this story,
I think it's worth having the discussion and examining it, and that speaks to how good it is that it's affected so much and is so worth the rereadings and looking at the bad aspects and the good aspects.
All I'm gonna say, and this is super fucked up, but weren't they saying she was in the most read? Who is the most read at the moment? Isn't it Batgirl?
It's ironic, because she's the most popular.
But it's not because her origin; it's what they've made out of a bad situation to do damage control for a situation like this.
Like when Eminem dropped Recovery Man.
Yeah, Mom's spaghetti.
No, but it's where everything's gone from this moment, like from this book, like
so
it's all turned well. I think comics in general are awesome now, like way more awesome now than they've ever been. Like, but I think everybody says that every year.
And that's a good thing, because that means we're all moving forward.
We're moving forward and making
as readers and as creators.
And like I think like it's as we've gone off topic from the Killing Joke into this deeper discussion, but we're at a good place. Like I like where comics are, now. I mean, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong, but I think at least the creator-owned stuff has become more progressive than say the company stuff, the main companies.
You couldn't have had books like Sex Criminals and Bitch Planet 10 years ago.
Oh, I love those. I need to get them back from our photographer Carla because I'm lending them to her.
I just need to get Bitch Planet.
There's some neat leggings.
Yeah.
Of Bitch Planet.
Yeah, those are. I would wear those.
I want them. Yeah. I told Nellii she has to.
I want to get a non-compliant tattoo actually.
Nice.
Go. I guess that's.
But I love this book.
Yeah.
It's a solid book.
Be warned about some of the subject matter if that can trigger anything for you, but it's worth the read. It's beautiful to look at.
Yeah. Be educated readers.
And
most important.
Be educated readers, and whether it's comics, regular books, the newspaper.
Or an oblivious reader in my case.
That's where we all got to start. Like I said, that's where I was when I read this the first time.
Well, no, but
stay woke.
Yeah.
But it's it's good to be to know these things, I think, and it's good to it's good to have a discussion. I think like we're doing. I don't think we've ever done it like to this extent.
Exactly.
In anything else, I mean, we've touched upon it in maybe our video reviews, and I think maybe touched upon it a little in the other comics that we've done. I think our Gotham Academy, the quality was pretty bad because of the technical issues, but like that's probably like one of we'll let you know the news later on that, but
it was a good, if you can actually get to hear that podcast and put it on speakers as loud as you can. It was a real good podcast.
Yeah.
Good stuff happened out of that.
A lot of good talking about again characters and tropes and what it means.
Yeah, the Killing Joke is a good book. Like,
it is.
It's one of my favorites just because I think I read it early.
It's my favorite Joker book, and it's probably one of my top 10 Bat books.
Mm-hmm. But like we said earlier, that because of how I'm sorry, I'm having gas because I ate a lot. But I mean like burp wise, not like the other way.
He doesn't think the other way.
Yeah, I'm hovering with my own gas through my butt. Buttholes.
You get a sticker.
Thank you. That made my day. Thanks.
But yeah, I think because as people we've grown more knowledgeable, and we've become aware of these things, especially Matt and I because we're men, and Matt is white, so
I really have to be aware of these things. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I work really hard to not be an asshole. Yeah, because of my privilege.
Matt's a sweet guy.
So I'm trying real hard, and I'm sorry.
Matt's actually a giant sweet.
He's like a big
He's
bear.
sweeter than I am, and I'm like the meanest at this table. Let's be honest.
We recognize things, we've learned things, and I think it's good it's good to go back to a book and be able to criticize it, and I don't mean like
see it in brand new eyes.
I think that's the sign of a good book is that we're still talking about it.
Yeah, like you can critique a book with the knowledge that you've acquired, artistically, politically, philosophically.
And I was gonna mention something. Back in these times, we didn't see much about abuse and anything like that. Nowadays, it's a bigger deal. There's more of a community for it.
There's more community. There's more understanding of what it means.
More knowledge.
And it's not just one certain type of thing. It's just an arrangement of just different things.
And I hear the argument that where everyone's just too sensitive. It's not that people are sensitive. No. It's just we're aware of these things, and there are better ways to portray them.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that you'll never see rape in a story.
Or that you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. But there are ways to portray it where it is a healthy portrayal of the effects of it, as opposed to just making it rape is bad. This person is bad, so this person rapes.
How unprofessional, Mears.
The one time my sound is actually on my phone.
Oh man.
Oh,
it's always off. I normally don't even keep my phone turned on. That's why I never take calls.
Everybody make sure to tell him to turn his phone off next time.
The lunar eclipse is happening right now.
Is it?
We should go.
Let's see if we can see this.
We should wrap this up before we can see it.
All right.
Alright, guys. Well, there is a lunar eclipse today, and 20 gajillion thumbs up.
Yes.
Yes.
But stay woke when you read these.
Mm-hmm.
Quick butt plugs?
Yes.
Yeah, let's give it 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
You can't see us. We all got
a total of 8 thumbs.
Shaky, spirit finger thumbs up.
Informed thumbs. Yeah. So that's Killing Joke. Good book.
Time for some butt plugs.
So what are we plugging today?
A huge butt plug to the comic bug
in Manhattan Beach.
That's where we do a lot of our prep work and our meetings. Yes. It's just a beautiful, wonderful shop.
Mike Wellman is our editor for an anthology that me and
Matt and you.
Matt and I are contributing with artist David Moreno.
Yeah.
And he's on tour promoting his book Guns A-Blazin'. We interviewed him. We interviewed him
on
our
YouTube
channel for the Long Beach Comic Con episode special.
And I was gonna mention how much of a beautiful community they have for just artists in general, writers, creators,
and especially female creators. They do
that.
I think
the Ladybugs.
Every Wednesday is a creator meetup. and every month they have a meeting for a discussion. That's how me and Matt got involved into their anthology. Every Thursday they have the Ladybugs, which is a women's creator group. So you ladies wanting to get into comics, it's a very welcoming atmosphere.
Everyone there is super cool, super talented.
A great store also.
Yeah, it's a really good store.
Yeah, it's really
cool. My new favorite place.
Yeah, everyone's really nice. It's a very welcoming atmosphere. That's how I workshop some books or book ideas that I have, which are coming soon. So yeah, go check out the Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach. Tell them the Graphic Ramblers sent you, and they'll probably look at you weird.
They come here sometimes.
The podcast people.
Yeah.
Those guys with the stickers.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Atomofox for awesome themes. So
they kill it.
So go check
They play it live every night.
Yeah. They're in the studio. They just don't like to talk because they let the music speak. Also, we'd like to thank Bad Bikini for letting us use their song for our Long Beach music video. Yeah. Lindsay, the singer, she's really cool. I know her, and she was very nice in letting us borrow that
so much. That song is amazing. It works so well with that video.
If you haven't seen that video, just go check out all of our YouTube.
Yeah, go.
Mark does some beautiful editing work over there to make our videos, so go check them out, guys.
Yes.
It's real hard and it shows.
Working my hands to the bone.
Leaves it all on the computer screen, guys.
Yeah. Go find Bad Bikini on Atomofox on Facebook. They have links there to their websites or their media where you can find their music.
Should we bring up our new 52 situation?
Yeah,
we're kind of relaunching.
Yeah, we're kind of relaunching the podcast. All new 52.
All new, all different.
All new,
Graphic
all different.
Ramblers now.
All new Graphic Ramblers now 52.
BU.
Yeah. GRU. We're going to be upgrading our equipment, so I hope this podcast comes out really well.
Yeah.
And doesn't get all buzzy because we are aware of these things. We listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
We've been using pretty rudimentary equipment, but we are upgrading everything.
We're taking the next steps, and hopefully it'll really help with our sound quality. So.
Yes,
we just needed the funds, and we've managed to save up enough money.
Yeah, so if you want to give us more money so we can get better
Patreon.
stuff, Patreon.
Please. You get lots of cool stuff.
Yeah,
shirts and stickers.
We'll be launching our
Color
website.
stickers.
Very, very soon.
We'll be launching our website soon. We'll have merch and business cards, more stickers.
The stickers!
High def.
Glossy.
We'll be like that scene in American Psycho where they're comparing business cards.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Bone?
Is that flesh? So yeah, we're gonna be upgrading everything. So hopefully we don't have to take a break from this, but we're gonna be just upgrading everything so we can take over the world. And
so the quality will get
amazing,
and you guys will have more enjoyable.
Yeah, I was telling Matt we're like an indie band right now, but we're signing, but we're not signing. We're gonna get this. Yeah. So look for that. We'll just plug our website from after this, and you can find all of our links there. And so we won't have to say, Instagram, Facebook. We're not going to do that.
Just hit up our website. Everything you need from us is there.
So probably once it's up, we will announce the name because hopefully Graphic Ramblers isn't taken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't
do it, guys. If you're thinking about taking it now, you've heard this. Don't do it.
Yeah. So look for that, and I think we're going to be at Kamikaze.
Yeah,
we are going to be at Kamikaze.
So
wander around, getting interviews. If you have a cool cosplay, come find us.
We had a lot of fun at Long Beach Con interviewing, all the creators. Scott Koblish, the new homie.
Oh my god.
Scott Broblish.
Yeah, I didn't get to interview, I met Felipe Smith, and because, he's brown like me. I'm just he made the best ghostwriter. So we love talking to creators. We'd like to talk to independent creators. So if you're there and you want if you want to say something or talk to us, hey, we're cool. I'll make another trailer where I get to use my epic voice guy, announcer voice.
And you'll get to hear me say butthole.
So look for that. Look for us at Kamikaze. We'll keep you posted as to what happens. So we'll be there all 3 days. I think I might miss one day, but.
Check out our cosplays. We will be cosplaying.
It's a super secret cosplay.
Ooh. Spooky.
So yeah, we're gonna. This is probably gonna be the first show of October. So
Yep.
after this.
Oh, actually, this is
it's
ending off
it's the end
September.
of September, actually.
And then we start off Too Spooky for You October.
It's everyone's favorite time of year.
Yeah, so we have a lot of cool spooky Halloween inspired episodes coming up.
All the spookies.
Yeah, so just leading up to Kamikaze, which will be at the end of the month, we will be having all of our spooky things.
Spooktacular.
Yeah. So yeah, we're probably gonna change the Facebook to the October theme.
The spooky.
So yeah, that's what's coming up. Are you guys reading anything? Is that all of our announcements before we get into our?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's all of our announcements and butt plugs of things.
Because I feel like we're all reading the same thing we've been reading these past things.
I haven't been reading at all this week. I didn't
with
read.
Your move-in.
Yeah, because I just moved to a new apartment. So I haven't had time to read my stories. But I'm waiting for my next Lando.
Yeah, and I'm still finishing up anything tied in with Secret Wars that I was reading. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Except for all new Harley Quinns with their road trip and finishing off Power Girl and her. All the Harley Quinns.
Reading anything new?
The last thing I recall reading was Phonogram.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So, Chris, are you reading anything?
Right now, I'm rereading James Rowland's Witchfire series, which is
this is a real book. I thought it was a comic book. All right, yeah. Go on.
Comic books are real books too. This is it's a novel without.
No, I know. I know what I mean.
Mine has pictures in it.
No, mine has pictures and stuff. So it's like, I mean, yeah, yeah. Comics are real books. They're fucking novels. Sometimes they're more intense. I've read some bad novels, and I think a lot of them, like especially now, are of higher quality.
So Chris,
continue about your book.
I'm rereading the Witchfire series by James Rowland. It's my all-time favorite book series ever, and it's a real shame because no one else besides me and one other person has ever read it.
Oh, you should start a podcast about it.
Yeah.
Just go through each chapter or each book with each episode. So look for Chris's podcast, Witchfire. Have you heard of it? So yeah.
2 other people, including the author.
I haven't read anything else. I have to start reading a few things, but they're sitting there in my apartment.
You know what's coming up? Chewbacca in October.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I've been waiting for that. I thought it came out in September, and then I was really sad when I realized I had the dates mixed. But it's okay.
So yeah, I think that wraps it up.
Yeah.
Wraps it up.
All right.
Guys. So we hope you enjoy our discussion on The Killing Joke.
Leave us some comments. Read to us on the Facebooks. Tell us what you think. Your views on it.
Follow us on the Instagrams, the Tumbles.
Get on it.
The tweets. Oh no, that's a pigeon.
Pigeon.
Never mind.
Tweet. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you for listening. Until next time, you guys are awesome. Please follow us on everything. Donate to our Patreon or Patreon if you're in the UK. That's how far we go. So yeah. Thank you guys. This is the Graphic Ramblers signing off.
Ramblers!
Assemble! No wait, signing off. I'm Mark.
I'm Nellii.
I'm Matt.
And Science Officer Chris.
Goodbye, everyone.
Signing off.
We are the Graphic Ramblers.
#Magnoff.
Will the Graphic Ramblers see the moon tonight? Have you heard the latest Graphic Ramblers joke? I'll tell it to you. There was a peanut walking down the street, and he got assaulted. I didn't say it was a good joke. This is the Graphic Ramblers, signing off.